What's going on, guys? It's Gothalion, and I'm back here in Borderlands 2 because I want to do a little demonstration and start off maybe what could be a series talking about some things in Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Now, what I've done is I've taken a character and I've reduced him to level 50 because I believe that will be the initial level cap inside Borderlands, the pre-sequel. I feel like that's the sweet spot, and I feel like combat in Borderlands 2 was most fun when you were at level 50. But that's not really relevant. That's not what we're here to talk about. Obviously, I have lowered my gravity a little bit. And why have I lowered my gravity? Well, I have a few people in different channels and on different social medias who feel like the low gravity is kind of just a gimmick and it's really not going to change that much about Borderlands pre-sequel. And to them, I say that's bullshit because vertical freedom changes damn near motherfucking everything about combat. And the best example I could think of this is, of course, Titanfall. Titanfall is all about that vertical movement, that vertical freedom, that parkouring, that double jumping in combat and getting up on top of shit real quick, climbing and getting vantage points and attacking enemies from any angle, and it changes everything. People say it's a lot like COD, but it's not a lot like COD. It's like COD if you had complete vertical freedom and you could run on walls and shit, and the movement changes combat, and that is the fact. There are ups and there are downs, and in Borderlands, the pre-sequel, we're looking at a situation where we're gonna have low gravity, and low gravity is great. Why is low gravity great? Well, you can get on top of shit that you couldn't normally get on top of, and that works well for people who like to get a vantage point. That works well for people like me who like to get on top of a high place and survey my area, see what's around, pick my best attack strategy. There is way too much dialogue in this area. You know, I want to pick my route. Do I want to run this way? Do I want to run that way? Do I want to just jump and go in head on? What's going to be the best scenario? And that's one of the major upsides of low gravity. One of the major downsides of low gravity is, well, you're kind of a sitting duck whenever you're in mid-air. If there are enemies that are projectile shooting enemies, as the majority of the enemies are in the Borderlands universe, then you might be in a little bit of trouble when you're doing what I like to call the fadeaway shot, which is another plus we'll get to in a minute. But if you're up in the air, then you are a sitting duck to all of them projectiles while you're flying through the air. But like I said, there is another upside, and I just mentioned it. I call it the fadeaway shot. If you're up in an enemy's face and he's coming at you, you drift backwards and you fire a few rounds into them with whatever your weapon of choice will be. And this is going to especially be great for sniper type players because you could just, you could create your vantage point. You know, a lot of people who play snipers don't like to be up close and personal in people's faces, but you could potentially run into a situation, jump up in the air, line up your shot, and take it before you hit the top of your arc. And I feel like this is a strategy that a lot of the sniper folk are really going to love. Another thing is, as you traverse the map, as you just saw, I bypassed a lot of ground that was in between me and that enemy up there. Now, normally you'd want to run up there and get it, but here you could just, you are a son of a bitch. But what I'm doing is I could just, jump over the terrain, and like I said, vertical movement changes combat. And another way that vertical movement is going to change combat is when you knock an enemy back. This guy doesn't want to get knocked back, but when you knock an enemy back, they will actually carry with the gravity. They will get knocked back further than they would with normal gravity. Now, this could either A, be good, or they could change it to where enemies will be able to react while they're in a knockback type situation. I'm hoping that they do make it so enemies have some reaction ability. Maybe they'll be able to shoot you. Maybe they'll be able to throw something at you as they're being knocked back. I'm not 100%, but how do you guys feel about that? Do you think enemies need to be able to fight back while they're knocked back, or is that just going to be a form of CC? You see that guy, the longer he's knocked back, the longer he's unable to get into combat with me. And I feel like that's a pretty interesting mechanic because you could just have people set up for knockback to repeatedly keep enemies out of combat? Is this going to end up being some sort of technique or tactic for people once low gravity is into play? I'm not sure. I'm not 100% certain on that. Ah, you! You! Stop it! Stop! That's not how, well, actually that is how gravity works when it's low gravity. Where are you going? You under here now? There you are. I gotcha. I fucking got you. Now, double jumps and butt stomping is another thing that's going to be incredible. I love double jumps in Titanfall. I'm going to make the comparison a lot between vertical movement and combat to Titanfall and Borderlands pre-sequel, though they are very different games. There's not going to be parkour in Borderlands, the pre-sequel that we know of. But being able to double jump in Titanfall is just really cool, and it gives you a lot more control. I mean, Borderlands the pre-sequel is going to be a lot about giving you control vertically, and I just love it. I love it, and I want you guys to get on board with why I love it, because it just makes things very, very exciting. Like jumping around, being a fucking monkey ninja it's the shit. It is undeniably the shit, and I love every second of it. I'm gonna try to take this guy out in a one shot. Do you remember? Oh, I can't. Oh shit, was under health gate. I got him, don't worry. Come on. Yeah, got it. Yay! Ha-ha! Ho-ho! I'm an idiot. I really am an idiot sometimes. Hey kids, remember shotguns and how they used to be good? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Is that joke played out yet? I'm not sure. Anyways, guys, if there are some areas you want me to take a look at with low gravity, then I don't know, let me know. I feel like Opportunity was kind of a cool area to take a look at, because there are so many different areas that you could get on top of and get vantage points and start combating enemies. Another thing I'm curious about is if the low gravity will carry into indoor areas, or if they're going to be sort of gravity locked, some sort of artificial gravity. That seems like that would make the most sense for me. You know what I mean? Is if there was some sort of artificial gravity inside indoor areas. Will the oxygen packs still allow you to double jump when you're indoors? Is that a thing? I would assume that you'd still be able to, or maybe you can't. Maybe it'll be like, hey, it'll ignite some shit. You can't double jump when you're indoors. I feel like that would be an interesting mechanic if there was sort of like a duality of combat where you're constantly having to adjust. You know, like when you're out on the exterior of the moon, you're double jumping and you have that vertical freedom, and it changes up the flow of combat. But when you go indoors, maybe there's some sort of grav lock system, and you're once again put back into like a standard FPS situation. Now, that would make it more like Borderlands 2 a bit, but at the same time, it would add more variety to combat. So I don't know how I feel about that in either direction. Why don't you guys let me know how you feel about maybe a duality in combat? Like I said, indoor-outdoor combat, I feel like that would be pretty cool. Yeah, so how do you guys feel? I mean, are you excited about low-gravity combat, that sort of high-flying, jumping on top of shit, getting vantage points, being a fucking monkey ninja, jumping on top of dudes and slicing them in half? How do you guys feel about that? I mean, cause look, you approach people completely differently than you would have. And I know I'm kind of just bouncing around, but I'm trying to give you a good idea of why it will be the way it's gonna be. Let me know. Are you excited, or are you still on the fence about it? And how did you get on that fence? Did you use low gravity to get on the fence? Because if you wanted to, you could. See, I'll show you. If you couldn't get on the fence normally, but I'm just letting you know, it takes low gravity to get on the fence, guys. Maybe you should get off that fence now. Be excited. Be excited about it! Let me know how you guys feel. As always, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and keep it locked here for all Borderlands 2 1 and the pre-sequel news, but mainly the pre-sequel because Borderlands 2 and 1 are done. Dunzo. Anyways, guys, I'll see you later.